Tighten your left leg. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Tighten your right leg. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Close your eyes. Tighten your left hand. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Close your eyes. Tighten your right hand. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Tighten your feet, face. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Tighten your head. Tight, 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 tight. Relax. Your whole body is relaxed. Become aware of your breath. Breath moving in, out, in, out. As you become aware of your breath, you may observe that the breath is flowing down. Breath is flowing down, and once in a while it may stop also. Also, you may observe that the mind has become more and more and more silent and peaceful. Mind and breath are related to each other like two wings of the bird. When the breath slows down, the mind slows down, and vice versa. When the mind is silent, you feel very, very peaceful and deeply blissful. Whatever thought comes, let it come and go. The thoughts don't belong to you. Thoughts belong to the mind. Let it go. Gently take your awareness to the top of the head and stay there. You may feel small vibration or pulsation there. Feel the deep silence within. You are the awareness. You are the one who is the observer of the mind, body, and intellect. You are the witness of the mind, body, and intellect. You have a body, you have a mind, and you have intellect, but you are not body, mind, or intellect. You are pure consciousness, free from all the thoughts. Your nature is peace and bliss and happiness. You are one with the Supreme Reality, Paramatma. Stay with that feeling. Enjoy your natural state, which is consciousness. Slowly repeat with me. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, mana, buddhi, nanalla, sachidanandatma, shivananunane, shivoham, shivoham. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am pure consciousness. My nature is peace and bliss. Slowly open your eyes. Let's chant Omkara together 3 times. भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं मंत्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। आत्मदर्शनम् ब्रह्मदर्शनम् आत्मदर्शनम् ब्रह्मदर्शनम् ब्रह्मदर्शनम् सत्यदर्शनम् सत्यदर्शनम्। Slowly open your eyes. My pranams to all Atmajyotis, divine light of self. We are continuing with the teachings of Sri Ramana Maharshi, Upadesha Sara. So last class we discussed about first in 4 slokas Sri Ramana Maharshi dealt with Karma Yoga. Then he went on to discuss the Bhakti Yoga, devotion. So devotion, the moment we say devotion, we have various concepts. So he defined 3 ways: Kaya, Vak, Manad, Karya, Bhuttamam. Kaya, Vak, Manad. When we do puja, when we worship, we do physically, kaya. So then some people chant mantra, they do japa, which is verbal. Then some people do the chanting and mental worship mentally, which is called manasa puja. So out of these, the physical is the lowest, the verbal is the next level, the mental is the highest. From outer, we have to move to the inner. From the grosser, we have to move to the subtle. From physical, verbal to the mental. The worship has to proceed in that level. So this was the teaching. So next shloka will take up. Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Pradeva Pujanam. Whom shall I worship? Which God shall I worship? This question arises. And there is always a conflict. I am the worshipper of this God and he is the worshipper of that God. Okay, somebody is worshipping some other God. Sri Ramana Maharshi gives a clear identity what God you have to worship. Ashtamurti. You have to worship God with the 8 forms. 8 forms. That is called Brahadeva. That is the greatest form of God. What is that 8 forms? Akasha, the space. Vayu, the wind. Agni, the fire. Jala, the water. Prithvi, the earth. The existence which made out of these 5 elements represents the 5. Surya and Chandra, the sun and the moon, represents the 7. And all the living beings in this represent the 8. Together this is 8. So what he is saying, Sri Ramana Maharshi is saying, is that you have to worship the God in the form of the existence, the totality. The God is the totality of whatever you see, whatever you experience. And with that attitude, if you live, that is the greatest form of worship. That is the puja. We have split the existence into many pieces. I am there, the world is there. I am separate from the world. My body is there, my consciousness is there. My consciousness is separate from the world, body. So we have introduced various kinds of split. When you perceive and conceive God as totality, then you respect every aspect of creation. When you say, I worship, what is really worship? Worship is an act born out of deep love. With the deep love, you offer something to the God. When your love fulfills the whole universe, includes every aspect of the universe, the space, the wind, the water, the fire and the earth and all living beings, basically totality of living and non-living beings, the love expands. You experience that infinite love. That is actually devotion. If love excludes something, then you are missing it. I am worshipper of this God and I am excluding other God forms, which means you are missing something. Your love is not all encompassing. Love can be all encompassing when every aspect of creation is respected as representation of God, as born in God, as living in God, as dying in God, merging in God. There is nothing which is separate from God. The seer, the seen, the process of seeing, everything is God only. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say there are 3 types of devotees, bhaktas. 3 types of bhaktas, devotees. The first type of devotee says, I am here, God is there. Where? Somewhere. This is the first type of devotee. I am here, God is there. The second type of devotee, I am here, God is in me. The third type of devotee is that I am not there, God alone is there. Everything is pervaded by God. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam. Everything is pervaded by the divine consciousness. This is the highest form of worship. So, whatever worship you are doing for a murti or a statue or a vigraha, that's only a beginning of your love affair with the divine. That love affair has to encompass every aspect of creation. No aspect of creation should be excluded from this love. That is the divine love. That is the bhakti. That is the greatest form of devotion. Clear? उत्तमस्तवाद उच्चमंदतः चित्तजम जप ध्यानमुत्तमम्. So now Sri Ramana Maharshi tells about bhakti. He has told about bhakti. Bhakti is all encompassing love. A love which encompasses all aspects of creation, living and non-living. Then the acts which you perform, the service which you perform becomes an offering to the God. That's called yajna. So this yajna we actually tell in a simpler way in terms of pancha yajna, 5 forms of yajna. Deva yajna, Pitra yajna, Rishi yajna, Manushya yajna, Bhuta yajna. Deva yajna means an offering to the divine beings which are responsible for the maintenance of the balance in the universe, Pancha Bhutas, 5 elements and weather, all those things. So any act of service you do for bringing balance in nature, that becomes a Deva yajna. Pitra yajna is taking care of the senior citizens, elders. Pitra yajna is teaching the spirituality to the younger generation. Manushya yajna is service to human beings, seeing God in human beings. Nara Narayana Seva. Bhuta yajna is compassion to all living beings, because the God resides in the heart of every living being. Rishi yajna is understanding the teaching of the Rishis in the form of Veda, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, teachings of Ramana Maharshi, and passing it on to those who seek this Rishi yajna. So in totality, Deva Yajna, Pitra Yajna, Rushi Yajna, Manushi Yajna, Bhuta Yajna covers all aspects of creation. So that Yajna is service to the Lord. That is the puja. Now Sri Ramana Maharshi takes up the process of meditation. So initially he told Kaya Vagmanat Karya Uttamam, physical, verbal and mental. So now he speaks about verbal, which is vak. Uttamastavad. There is the people do a chanting with a loud voice. That's called Uttamastava. So Uttamastavad, instead of chanting with the loud voice, Uchchamandataha, not very loud, what you can hear, not others can hear, Uchchamandataha. Japa is better. So is there no meaning for a congregational chanting, where more people join together and chant together? That's a congregational chanting. Now, an inner journey is described for an individual level sadhana. That is a group sadhana. So, at the individual level, instead of chanting something very loud, better to chant in such a way that you can only hear. Why so? Because the louder your voice, your mind is grosser, it goes outside. Your mind has to go inwards. Okay? The inward journey has to take place. So instead of chanting louder, you chant in such a way that you can only hear. So better than that, chanting is japa. This is called japa. Chanting is called japa. Better than japa is dhyana uttamam. Meditation is better. So this is the process. So Sri Ramana Maharshi has systematically taken us step by step. First he spoke of karma yoga, action. In the action he said, action dedicated to Lord, all fruits of action dedicated to Lord is better. From there he has moved on to say that the worship, physical, verbal, mental is better than, one is better than the other. Physical is the lowest, verbal is next, mental is last. So out of all the worships, seeing the divine in the totality and doing service in the form of Panchayatna, that is greater. Then chant, then he takes up chanting. Loud chanting, chanting where you can hear only yourself, nobody else hears. So that is better than the loud chanting. Better than that is dhyana, meditation. Why? The mind becomes from a grosser, it has to be brought to subtle, and it has to go to Atma. So these are gradual process of moving towards the self. Then he says, what is dhyana? People may ask the question, what is dhyana? Meditation. Ajyadharaya Shrotasa samam Sarala chintanam Viralatha param. People have a question, different types of meditation people do. Right? The meditation itself has the various connotations or various meanings. Meditation means focused thought on one subject. All your thoughts are for one subject. Why? I have told many times, our mind is full of thoughts. Roughly about 60,000 thoughts are there per day in our mind. Those 60,000 thoughts are distracting us, taking us away from the self. Our mind is distracted by these thousands of thoughts. So, the process of japa is from all those thousands of thoughts, you bring it to one thought. Rama, 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 Rama. From thousands of thoughts, it has come to one thought of Rama. So mind has to be brought, mind which is scattered all around in the world, has to be brought to one place. It may be Rama, Rama, Rama. It may be Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Multiplicity of thoughts have to be brought to one place. Then, mentally you have to concentrate on one thought or use one thought to concentrate. Then what happens? The mind becomes focused with one thought instead of many, many thoughts. From many to one it has to move. So this thinking process should be ajyadharaya. That means your meditation should be like the stream of ghee. When you pour the ghee, ghee will fall in a single stream. It will not be broken. Water will be dropping, droplets will be there, whereas ghee will be a continuous stream. So you should be able to maintain a continuous stream of thought on one subject which is divine. So then you may ask a question, can I meditate on tree? Can I meditate on monkey? Can I meditate on a flower? You can. You have to bring your mind to one single thought. But always it's better to choose thought which is uplifting. By thinking of a flower or by thinking of a tree, you may get focused mind, but you will not get an elevated mind. The mind which gets elevated, mind which gets inspired. Focus on that thought. Ajyadharaya shrotasasama. The thought should be unbroken. Saralataha. That means thoughts can be broken or continuous. Right? Thoughts which are cut is called broken. Viralataha. Thoughts which are continuous is called saralataha. A continuous thought. Then you say how difficult it is to have a continuous thought on any subject. My dear, all your life you are focusing your energy on some thought which is continuous, which is there. It may be husband, it may be wife, or it may be money, it may be in-laws, or many thoughts. You have a continuous thought. Thoughts after thought on one subject, you have expertise. Already you have the ability. Only thing is you have to change the direction and focus on a subject which will uplift you, which will elevate you. So that is called dhyana. Thought, a meditation where you are able to hold on to a continuous single thought is much better than thoughts which are broken. Right? Okay.
Is attention also thought?
What?
Is attention also thought?
Attention.
Is attention also thought?
Is attention also is thought? See, attention, you give attention to some subject. I give attention to that fan. I give attention to this person. The attention is the movement of awareness in a direction. Awareness focuses or moves towards something. That awareness is directed by the intention. The intention is the thought, awareness is the movement of energy. What? The intention behind the attention is the thought. Okay. So your meditation should be one single thought. So why is this so? Please understand. From thousands of thoughts of the world, husband, wife, politics, cricket, football, money, sex, film, movies, dancer, yoga, teacher, husband, wife, our mind is cluttered with thousands of thoughts. Reduce that thought to one thought which is divine, and finally drop that thought also. So that is the purpose. Even that one thought is not final. I am able to sit and think of Rama, Rama, Rama 24 hours a day. A day has to come when even you are able to drop that one single thought and stay in a thoughtless awareness. From thousands of thought to one thought, from one thought to no thought. This is the spiritual journey. Is it clear? Any questions?
Possible at all to be in thoughtless state?
Obviously, 100%. It's your natural state. Thought is your unnatural state. Is it possible to be in a thoughtless state? Yes, 100% possible. Why not? Consciousness, awareness is thoughtless.
Is there a difference between an effort for this consciously being thoughtless, going to it, and accidentally, which you are not aware, you are not even planning for meditation, you see something and you become thoughtless?
Yeah. You see something and become thoughtless. Right? You can become thoughtless in many times. Go to Himalayas. Wow, what a magnificent Himalayas. Thoughtless. A beautiful girl is walking on the street. Sometimes you become thoughtless and mindless also. Okay? But in both the cases, you become thoughtless momentarily, but deep-rooted feeling that I am separate from existence, that remains. Adnana remains. Okay? The state of thoughtlessness momentarily is same. But there is a seed there. The seed is not gone. The moment that girl goes off, moment you turn that, you remember that you spent 20,000 rupees to go to Himalayas, or 40,000, whatever is that, or moment you feel cold, suddenly, I am feeling cold, that I thought comes. I thought is already there, but it is dormant.
Is that a glimpse?
Yeah, it is a glimpse. Right? It is a glimpse of thoughtless state, but it's momentary. The I thought which was there, dormant, it has gone, disappeared. Momentarily, it is there. Right? Dormant.
That's not same in the sleep.
It's same in the sleep also. Your I thought which is dominant in the waking state, I thought which is running in the dreaming state, in the deep sleep state, it goes to dormant state. And the moment you wake up, it will again sprout.
Yes, we said separating self from the mind is thoughtless.
Self from the? Yes. The mind and the self is?
Inseparable. In a way.
Mind and thought is? Self is?
Mind and...
Mind is thought is mind.
Yes.
Okay?
And mind and self. See, they are also together.
Yes.
Now, if you separate mind from the self, that is thoughtless.
Correct. Separate the mind from the self, okay, and then mind becomes purified, then mind becomes the self. There is no anything separate from self.
So, mind itself is...
Mind, purified mind is the self. Mind which is impure is the mind. You understand? So there is nothing separate from the self. Nothing which is separate from the God, self. But for the purpose of spiritual journey, we say understand the self is separate from the mind, because mind is nothing but thoughts. But once the mind becomes purified, the thoughts will disappear and mind becomes the self.
Is it like use ego to go to egolessness?
Yes. Use ego, then go to egolessness state.
But later, what I want to ask difference between mind working and yourself being different will become more prominent.
No. Once the mind becomes very purified, mind merges with the self, then there is no concept of separation at all. That's the final state of liberation. Till that happens, you always feel a duality between the mind and the self. Understand? So, the residual impression of the mind will be there to some extent. After enlightenment also, some residual impressions will be there. For example, eating food, drinking, walking and doing some job, those residual impressions will be there. But the key impression that I am separate from the self or I am separate from the existence is gone. So some functions which are required for body maintenance or family maintenance or society interaction will be there. We can be there, depending on your residue. But they don't become a block for a self-awareness. Whatever you do, whatever you walk, wherever you walk, you are aware that I am the self. That mind will not create the duality. भेद भावनात् सोहमित्यसौ पावनापिता पावनीमता. So what should be your attitude of meditation? What should be the deepest thought in your meditation? Any meditation involving I am separate from God is of the lower category compared to I am one with God. I am He, Soham. The Soham, I am one with God, is the right meditation. The lower level meditation involves I am there and God is there separate from me. Why it is called lower level? It's lower level of meditation. Even though it's meditation, it's also purifying. Wherever there is a duality, I am separate from God, that meditation is of lower quality and lower level. Compared to a meditation where you are again and again reminding that I am one with God, I am God, there is no separation between me and God. Soham, Saha Aham, I am that. That meditation is greater. Of the two, that meditation is greater. So let us understand why some people can't even bear the thought that I am separate, I am one with the God. How can you say that? God has such divine qualities, and how can I think that I am one with God, I am one God? Right? So that thinking of that non-duality, oneness, hurts many people. Sri Ramana Maharshi says that thought with the duality, meditation with the duality is of lower nature. Why? Why is that so? Why do you think it's lower nature? You say God is all pervading. God is everywhere. God is every aspect of creation except you. That means you have become more powerful than God. God is not occupying. Your concept of God itself is something wrong. All pervading, almighty reality is separate from you. That means you are more powerful than God. The one which occupies every aspect of space, earth, all elements is excluding you. You are some exception. So that thought is there. That is a lower quality. Actually, people say apachara. I'm thinking that I'm one with God. It's called apachara, which is actually wrong. But what they are thinking itself is apachara, because all pervading reality is missing to fill up this reality called body-mind complex. I am separate from God. That concept itself is of that meditation itself is of the lower level, lower nature. Because the God, the consciousness is all pervading, including you. There's no space, there's nothing which excludes that consciousness. How can you be separate from that? The moment you think of separation, you are thinking that you are more powerful than that reality which is all pervading. So there is something wrong with that concept. So that meditation which where you think that I am one with God, everything is God, that meditation is more purifying. It's purifying. Sri Ramana Maharshi doesn't say that other meditation is not purifying. He says this type of meditation, which is Advaita Bhava meditation, is uplifting because it is closer to the reality compared to the other concept. Now for most of the people, I am one with God, I am He, I am God, that is mind-boggling. That is called apachara. That disturbs them the way if you think like that. Because I am of so lower nature, I have some problems, I am angry, I am jealous, I am getting hurt. How can I think I am God? So this thought pervades. What you don't realize that when you say I am angry, I am hurt, I am jealous, that anger and jealous and hurt is for the mind, whereas that I am is the God, Atma. So you are that I am, not the body, mind or intellect. When this concept goes deeper in the mind becomes purified. And when the mind is become purified, there is no separation with the mind and the Atma also. So this logic that I am not the body, mind or intellect has to be applied till the mind becomes purified. After purification, the mind is not separate. It's spontaneity. Right? When I say I teach you all the people, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not... You don't think that mind and body and intellect are separate from Chaitanya. It is. But this process will help you to eliminate the reactions which are caused by the mind. And that logic will purify the mind. Once it purifies, there is no separation actually. You don't see any separation. There is non-duality. Is it clear? Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi Bhavana Balat Bhaktiruttama. So earlier what is told, the meditation, first you told meditation on an object, right, which is uplifting you. The meditation on God or divine with this stream, like a stream of ghee. So thousands of thoughts are brought into one uplifting thought. Then what is taught? Better than that is to stay with the thought that I am He, I am one with the God. Okay? Because God is everywhere. God is all pervading. Correct? And once you have that thought, gradually that thought becomes feeling, that becomes bhava. You understand how our life is? Thought, a repeated thought, a continuous thought becomes a feeling. The feeling that I am He arises in you. That's called bhava, feeling. Even that feeling has to be dropped. Because the feeling is also a part of the mind, subtlest part of the mind. Understand? What is mind? Mind is nothing but thoughts. Mind is nothing but feelings. The thoughts in the subtle form is feelings. Even that feeling has to be dropped. Bhava Shunya. Dropping that feeling also, stay in awareness. Arivu. Pure awareness. bhava shunya means even that feeling that I am he is also to be dropped. Why? Even that feeling belongs to this subtle and purified mind. You are not even the mind, you are pure awareness. Awareness is free from that bhava, that feeling also. Stay with the pure awareness. Bhava shunya, no feeling, no thought, no action. Pure awareness is what I am. And this is called bhakti. This is the definition of Ramana Maharshi, bhakti. What is your definition of bhakti? Many people have different definition of bhakti, okay? Somebody told, I went to a holy place, okay? You know, that sage is great bhakta, okay? I asked, how do you know that he is great bhakta? Oh, you know, he made that the golden chain for the Lord, which is weighs 2 kgs, 2 kg golden chain he put to Lord, that becomes the bhakta. Huh? He is a great bhakta because he made a crown which is 20 kgs for the God. That has nothing to do with bhakti. I am great bhakta because without worship, without doing puja for the God, I don't take food. Sri Ramana Maharshi's definition of bhakti is to stay in pure awareness is bhakti. It has nothing to do with what you do. But your definition of bhakti is what you do. Hey, he is a great bhakta here. What is bhakti? He chants that japa 10,000 times. Sri Ramana Maharshi already told in various stages where he stands. You have to, from karma yoga, you have to come to a stage of puja, which involves physical, verbal, mental. From that you have to evolve and offer your service to the existence in the form of Ashtamurti. As the mind purifies, japa, loud japa to silent japa. From that is with already dhyana. From 10,000 thoughts, the mind has to focus on one divine thought. And then the divine thought has to be such a way that I am separate from existence, I am separate from God has to be dropped. Soham, I am one with the God, that thought has to be there. And this will become a feeling, and that feeling also has to be dropped. And you have to stay in bhava shunya, no feeling, but in a state of pure awareness. Sri Ramana Maharshi's definition of bhakti is this. So you can see how different is the definition of bhakti from the common people understanding of bhakti, devotion. So most of the common people understanding of devotion is related to action. Sri Ramana Maharshi's state of description of bhakti is related to the state of being. Right? We call people as human being, right? Human being. Our measurement of bhakti is human doing. Okay, Sri Ramana Maharshi's measurement of bhakti is human being. Being means Atma, awareness. So from a human doing to become human being.
Is it not the starting point for someone?
Which is
It's not the starting point if somebody is ready to give.
yeah, it is a starting point, but for most of the people it becomes the ending point also. That is the problem. Life ends, but sadhana doesn't proceed. That itself they start thinking great. See, what happens is that I do some external act, then people start, oh my God, start appreciating. So that appreciation starts getting into your head. Then you start doing more about that. Right? And people appreciate what you do. People don't appreciate what you are. Okay? So most of the people get stuck at the various levels of sadhana. That's a beginning is okay, but the end is a problem. Right? Most of the people don't go up in the ladder of sadhana. They're stuck. Remember the last time I told the story, Johnny, yes, Papa?
But once the death happens, again it's back to square one.
Back to where you are stuck. First class fail, first standard fail, start from the first standard, second standard fail, start from second standard. Is it clear? Trastale mana swastata kriya bhakti yoga bodhascha nishchitam. Bhakti yoga, what you know as doing this puja, that chanting, this flower, this worship, this laddu, this whatever is that. From that you have to evolve. Ratstale mana, mind has to go to the heart. Rat. What is heart? Heart is not physical heart. Radi ayam. The center from which that I thought arises is called heart. Where does the center from which I thought arises? That's the consciousness. The mind merging into consciousness is called bhakti. Understand? Mind merging into consciousness called bhakti. So whatever bhakti you tell, she is a great bhakta, he is a great bhakta, we should not deny them. Okay? We should not say that they are doing something wrong. They are where they are. Okay? So that's why you distinguish a category called para bhakti and apara bhakti. Para bhakti means great devotion. Apara bhakti means lower devotion. Lower level of devotion. Lower level of devotion is when the mind is corrupted with the ignorance. Para bhakti is when the mind is purified, mind has merged back with the source, heart. Somebody asked Kabir Das ji, you don't go to the mosque because people, Muslims don't treat you as Muslim because you chant Ram. Ram, Ram, Ram. Hindus don't allow you to the temple because you are a Muslim. I have never seen you going to the temple or masjid. I have never seen you doing any puja. Still people say you are a saint. How is that possible? Sri Kabir Das said, whenever I walk, that becomes a pradakshina. Whatever I see becomes offering. Whatever I hear becomes offering. Whatever I do becomes the worship. When we start realizing that totality is Parabrahma, the supreme reality, you are no separate from that. The mind becomes totally purified and merges with the heart. Heart is nothing but consciousness, Paramatma. That is called Parabhakti, great devotion. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's life, you can hear this, see this. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a great devotee of Mother Kali. He used to worship her, she used to give Naivedyam to her, she used to dance, sing, he used to talk to her. In all these, still there is a separation between me, the individual, and the Kali, Mother. Then he met the Advaita master, Totapuri, who taught him I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, all that is reality, Sarvam Khalu the Brahma. When that happened, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa merged with that supreme reality. Then most of the activities which he used to do externally stopped. To the extent that Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, during evening Sandhyavandana time, he used to go and give a arghya in the river nearby, offering to the sun. Now he is not able to give arghya also, because everything has become that and you have become that. The separation has disappeared altogether. It is like a salt doll. The salt doll sees an ocean, so big ocean. It is fascinated by ocean and it understands that ocean is nothing but salt. It goes to the ocean. And who is there? The salt doll has disappeared and ocean alone remains. When the mind which is doing sadhana, still is separate, that's like a salt doll. Doing sadhana, search for Atma, then it dissolves into Atma. Then what remains there is Atma only, Paramatma only. Atma has merged with the Paramatma. What happens to such a person? His body can be seen by the people. The body will eat, talk, whatever is that, because of some residual impressions. But his deep-rooted impression of that I am separate from existence is gone. So one who talks through that mouth is Paramatma. One who sees through that eyes is Parabrahma. One who hears through that ears is Parabrahma. There is no individual. It has become universal. Such a person alone is called Brahmana, one who has realized Brahman. Such a person alone is called Atmajnani, one who has realized self-realized. For such a person, the deep respect is offered. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. That Guru has become Parabrahma because there is no individual left. Only Supreme Reality speaks to that body-mind complex. He is the Parabrahma. Such a person is called Sadguru. Bhakti Yoga Bodhascha Nishchayam. This is called Bhakti. What is called Bhakti? When the mind has merged with the Paramatma, mind has become free from thoughts. Mind is established in Atma. This is called Bhakti Yoga. This is called Bodha Jnana Yoga. This is called Kriya Yoga. Jnana Bhakti Kriya Yoga is when the mind has merged with the Atma. Nishchitam, for sure, there is no uncertainty about that. Vayurodhanat, liyate mana, jala pakshi, vadrodha sadhanam. So Sri Ramana Maharshi takes up now Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga means working on the energy system in the body. Pranayama, breathing practice, yoga. Right? So there are practices where you do pranayama, stop the breath. When you stop the breath, mind also stops. Because mind and breath are related. Okay? Vayurodhanat liyate mana. Mind becomes suppressed. The mind has two paths: suppression and destruction. A spring which is suppressed will bounce back the moment is released. By pranayama, when your mind becomes silent, suppressed, you feel bliss. I am feeling very happy I did pranayama. Oh, you did pranayama? Anger rises. The mind which is suppressed again comes up. The mind has to be not, suppression is okay, but mind has to be removed. The tendency of the mind to bounce back has to be cut. Vayu rodana liyate mana, mind becomes suppressed. Jala pakshi roda bandhana, like a bird trapped in a net. In a net, the bird cannot fly because it's trapped. Like that, when you hold the breath, mind gets trapped. The moment you release, mind bounces back. The moment you remove the net, the bird flies. Okay? Chitta vayavaha, chit kriyayuta, shakayordvayi, shakti mulaka. Chitta, which is mind. Vayu means prana. Mind and prana, they are both are coming from the same root. Which root? Atma. They are two forces of the self. If you trace the mind, you will go back to the self. If you trace the breath, you go back to the self. Because both are coming from the common root. You can go to the self through the root of prana, which is actually Kriya Yoga. Or if you want to trace the mind through the, go back through the source of the mind, which is actually Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga, you will reach the same root, which is Atma, because both are coming from Atma. Laya Vinashane, Ubayarodane, Layagatam Punarbhavati, Nomratam. Mind has two possibilities. What is that? Laya, which is suppression. Vinasha means destruction. Suppression, if the mind is suppressed, it can sprout back. But if the mind is destroyed, it can never come up. Mrata, dead mind. So it means dead mind means what? He becomes an idiot? No. He becomes a wise man. The mind where the concept of I am separate from existence is gone, I am one with Paramatma is called dead mind, because it has no tendencies of the earlier mind. It's a purified mind. Laya, Vinasha. Laya means suppression, Vinasha means destruction. So, Jivan Mukti or liberation means destruction, not suppression. Whatever amount of puja, sadhana you do, you may get temporary relief, that's called Laya. Finally, mind has to be deep-rooted aspect of the mind that I am separate from God, that has to be removed. That's called Jivan Mukti. That's called liberation. These are the two paths for the mind. A mind which is dead, mind which is merged with the self, will not sprout back. Otherwise, the mind will sprout back with the ignorance. We'll close for the day. Lokaha samastaha Sukino bhavantu Lokaha samastaha Sukino bhavantu Lokaha samastaha Sukino bhavantu Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Repeat the question, please.
Please give examples of disconnectedness, separation.
See, separation, there are many aspects we feel separation. I am separate from that wall, I am separate from the fan, I am separate from you. That's when you define I am as a body. Right? I am separate from you because mentally we are far away. So the separation, okay, we are close-minded, means we have a common thinking. Right? I am separate from you because when I define myself as a body. When I define myself as a consciousness, or when I realize myself as conscious, there is no separation at all. In whatever teachings we have, ultimately the deep-rooted ignorance in the mind has to go. Until that deep-rooted ignorance in the mind goes, still deep inside somewhere the feeling is there that I am separate from existence will be there. So that root has to go. So that becomes the base thought for any of our thoughts. I am separate from existence. Once that thought goes, the non-duality is realized, because I am not separate from existence. But I am becomes the existence. Okay, yes please. Yeah. Yeah.
But that is a challenge because we have to go through our 24 hours.
No. When we say thoughtless state, the thought, deep-rooted thought that I am separate from existence will disappear. Okay, there is always, when you say I am thinking, right? That I am thought is there, instinctively you assume that I am separate from existence. That thought disappears. Then what will happen? All the child thoughts which are related to that will disappear. But if you have to do something, that thought will be there. But there is no thought coming from I am separate from God.
We are not to say that I am separate from God. That is one level of our process. And the other part is to just apply to whatever that moment requires.
Yes. That thought will be there. What is required for that moment will be there. And after that is over, it will go on. But deep-rooted feeling that I am separate from existence will disappear. Thoughts which are required for work will appear and disappear. Otherwise, always we have a background thought that I am separate, I am so and so. That identity will dissolve.
In the process of everyday matters, you continually be reminding yourself.
Continue.
To be reminding yourself of the
Yeah.
action. There has to be some sort of a practice to make you get into that as
Actually,
a habit.
see, this is actually the question. If you ask this question, does it require sadhana? It requires a sadhana. But in your sadhana, if you reach a stage, certain level of evolution, you may be fortunate enough to meet a master who can end your sadhana, who can help you to end your sadhana, reach the destination. The realization that I am not the body, mind or intellect, okay, initially it will be sadhana. It's a continuous practice. But at certain level, a clear teaching by a realized master will remove the trace of ignorance. You understand what I'm saying? Ultimately, what removes your ignorance is not sadhana. What removes your ignorance is the teaching. The teaching takes you to the realization. The teaching has a clarity. That clarity gives you this, that ignorance is removed. Let me ask you a question. Does sun go around the earth or earth goes around the sun? What's your answer? How do you know? It's contrary to your experience. Don't you see the sun rising and going around the earth every day? Right? Is it not? You are telling something which is very opposite of your experience. How is it possible? That's possible because in your third standard, your science teacher told, my dear child, sun doesn't go around the earth. Earth goes around the sun. And that one sentence of the teacher and reading one sentence from the science textbook which is sacred convinced you, and all your life you believe that sun is going around earth, even though it's contrary to your experience. You understand? So what happened is that teacher's teaching got deep into your head, deep into your consciousness. Understand? At that age you are fortunate, you are able to believe that teacher who is, the teacher is God for you. Right? At some part of your spiritual journey, You believe that a realized master is God, and one word you says that you are that will be sufficient. Do you understand? Yes. So the ultimate realization happens due to the clarity of teaching. That's why it said, Nahi dnane sadrasham pavitramihya mudyate. The knowledge purifies. But all your sadhana will help you to purify the mind, to take you to that level where you are able to receive that highest knowledge. And once you receive that knowledge, there's no looking back. It's over. Got a clarity on what I say? You got what I said clearly?
Yes, I think it has
Yeah.
also it's still a difficult
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah. It is not so difficult. Okay. Yes, sir.
It's like cutting the main electricity supply to your house and running on the battery. Means only when you require you switch it off.
Yeah. For functional purpose, functional purpose, okay, that functional thoughts will be there. A Gnani like Krishna will act, dance, sing, everything he does, but still he doesn't act, sing and dance. It's a contradiction. Okay, thank you. Okay. Tomorrow, there is a 5 days.